and say good morning and welcome to your last Pilates session of 2022. I do hope you've reached this point, particularly all of you that are here with me this morning, feeling better for having done lots of Pilates, and more importantly, being aware of your body, your posture, your alignment, and maybe just being aware of areas that maybe you need to work on. So of course we need to get ourselves aligned, become aware of our neutral position. So we start by placing our feet hip distance apart and parallel, and just being aware of our toes. And then all I want you to do is shift your weight forward, just rock really through the soles of your feet. So you rock through onto your toes and then back, and just trying to become aware of the soles of your feet. So you can feel your toes and the balls of your feet, the outer underside, the side of the foot, and then your heel. And then just allow yourself to settle and feel the arches. Be aware of the slight lifting sensation on the inside of your feet. I know some of you have flat feet, and that's absolutely fine, but what you want is the awareness of your feet and stability, not collapsing and rolling in. So now our knees are just a little bit soft, and I want you to lift up through the top of your head, just lengthening through the back of your neck, lengthening your spine, but being aware of the slight curves that we should have. The slight curve here in the neck rather than the jut forwards, so taking your chin back. The slight curve here in the lumbar spine, but not a big curve. So we tuck the tail under, we become aware of the rib cage aligned with the pelvis, and being really nice and broad. And what I want you to do here is just roll the shoulders a little bit, because it just feels nice. That's it, and do 2 more and 1 more, and just allow your arms to hang down by your side, feeling quite broad across the length of your collarbones and the back of the shoulders. And as you stand here, feeling lovely, tall and aligned, just breathe. Breathe out and relax your shoulders. Feel that you maybe lengthen, sort of right behind your ears here. Lengthen, lift the head, lengthen the neck. And as I say, relax the shoulders. And then also as you breathe out, just become aware of that belt of support or corset of support around your waist. The muscle, particularly, that supports the spine. But don't forget that deep muscle in the bottom of your pelvis called your pelvic floor muscle, that they work together. And then from here we just need to get moving. So I quite like a little bit of movement with a little bit of swing. So we're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, take the arms up and then down and swing back a bit and then up. So a little bit of momentum, but definitely in control. So you don't let your arms drop. Okay, you control the downward bit, but a little bit of back swing and then up you come. So just trying to gently move the muscles, warm the muscles, lengthen the muscles that help us to move a little bit better. That's it. And I'd like to just focus a little bit on this today, just so that we can feel more mobile by the end. So we're going to do 4 more like that. And 3. Good, 2 more, and 1 more. Brilliant. And then we're going to just relax the arms, let them hang as you rotate the body. Just let the arms swing. Allow the body to rotate, or encourage the body to rotate. And again, just an element of momentum with control, please, as the arms just swing around. Brilliant. I like this movement, and I've been finding Adrian doing this quite a bit recently, just to try and mobilise his spine. As we do 4 more, last 3, 2 and 1, and allow yourself to settle back to the centre here. Okay, and now we're just going to clasp the hands, breathe in. As you breathe out, stretch out across the upper back, stand up lovely and tall, breathe in. As you breathe out, lengthen across the collarbones. Come forwards, breathe in, breathe out, stretch there. Someone wants to come in, and then lengthen here. And as we lengthen across the front of your shoulders and your chest, just lean back a little bit or lift and extend the spine, particularly the upper section of your spine, so that we start to move a bit more. And maybe as you take your hands back there, you can feel the stretch. I know I can, definitely. As we do 2 more. And 1 more. Good. Opening up across the front of the chest and the shoulders, and then relax. Let your arms hang. Okay, so from here I want to again just have an element of momentum, but we're going to set the arms up, breathe in. As you gently bend your knees, tuck your tail under, around your back. And notice I'm just doing a little gentle squat here initially, just to be cautious with regards to your lower back. As we tuck the tail under, drop the head as I said, lengthening the muscles down the spine. And as you do more and more, you might find you can go a little bit further down, bending the knees more rather than hinging at the hips more. Please. And again, thinking about that corset of support. Good, as the arms swing by your side. Fabulous. Let's do 4 more. And again, last 2. And 1. And relax. Oh, so hopefully starting to feel a little bit more mobile. Let's just take our feet a little bit wider. Knees definitely soft, and please be conscious of that corset of support. As we breathe in, as you breathe out, lift one arm up and reach to the ceiling. Drift the hand down, take the other arm up and over. That's it, and then just really trying to get a little bit of a stretch down the side here. For me, I visualise all the little muscles that attach to the side of your spine. That's it. And then return, and over you go. Now you could go a bit further over, but you really don't have to. You could simply reach up a bit further. If you lean further over, try not to collapse down at the side here. Still keep that length in the body, but know that it is a bit more demanding, definitely more demanding to then bring yourself back. So I'm going to ask us to do just 1 more to each side. Can we do 1 more? Yes, we can. And then over we go. Fabulous. Alrighty, let's move the legs a little bit more. So you might want to keep them here, you might want to take them a little bit wider. Position your feet wherever you wish to squat down and be comfortable through your hips, but go as far as you can, gently. Breathe in. As you breathe out, sit yourself down and push yourself up. Just being conscious, as I said, of that range of movement. Bear in mind, we haven't done any of these yet, so you might not want to go too deep initially. And then push up through the heels, lovely and tall, engage the core, keeping your spine supported and keeping that neutral spine. And before Christmas, I spoke quite a lot about shoulder stability. I'm still on a bit of a stability mission. So shoulder blades back and down, neck lovely and long. And engage your bottom muscles as you push yourself up. Yes, your hands may go forwards, but it doesn't mean you need to reach forwards. Keep the shoulders back, lift up. Let's do 4 more. Last 3. Take yourself down as far as you can for your last 2. And 1 more. And then rest. You can slot the legs back in if you like, but we are going to go back to a lovely wide stance with our feet. And again here we can take ourselves down as far as you wish to, but we're going to add lovely big arm circles. So breathe in. As you breathe out, take your hands all the way up. And out nice and wide. And then again, drift your arms all the way up. Lovely and wide. And as you take your arms out, think about that lengthening across the front of the shoulders and the chest. Sit your bottom down as far as you can. It's also quite difficult here. Sometimes as we're focusing on our arms, we let the knees and ankles roll in. Please don't. Please keep your weight slightly on the outsides of your feet so you maintain that lift on the inside of your feet. Fabulous. How about 4 more? Nice big range of movement. Last 3. 2 more, please. Ooh. And I'm going to go down a bit further if I can. 1 more. And drift up. Lovely. Now you can slot the legs back into the sockets and move here. And I like to rotate and reach round, up and round. Oh, I can feel that stretch down the side here in my obliques, down to the hip. Maybe you can, there's a big back muscle that we're stretching here too, as we release. Let's do 4 more. My family are laughing at me from behind you. They're outside in the rain. Let's just do 2 more. And 1 more. And rest. Ah, beautiful. So hopefully we feel lovely and mobile now, definitely ready to just become a bit more aware of the muscles in our feet. So feet parallel and hip distance apart. And I want you to just be conscious of the deep muscles of your feet and ankles and the lower leg. Remember, we're going to come up onto our toes, and remember that's definitely helped by focusing your eyes on a point in front and engaging your core. So when you're ready, breathe in. As you breathe out, engage the core, float your hands up, and you get to a point where you're happy to just lift the heels off the floor a little bit. Your hands go out and your heels go down. As you do this, be conscious of taking your arms up a bit further than you might ordinarily do before you then lift your heels. Because sometimes that sort of swing out of the arms just loses your balance. So I've got my hands here before I even think about lifting my heels, just pushing slightly through the front of my feet onto the big toes and the balls of the feet, definitely. In fact, I'm quite simply hovering my heels off the floor. Ooh. And as I did then, totally forgetting core. So drawing the middle to aid the balance as you push yourself up. And you start to wake up the muscles of the feet and the lower legs, definitely. So you might find you want to come further up and push yourself right up onto the toes. But the point is, be conscious of when you do that in relation to how you move your arms. If you move your arms too quickly, you will lose your balance. If you go up too quickly, you will lose your balance. I'd like you to try and do 3 more, please. Great. And then another 2. Remember, as your arms come down nice and wide, keep broad across the front of the chest and the shoulders, lengthening your collarbones. I've got 1 more. And plant the heels. Oh, fabulous. All right, so hopefully we've woken up those muscles, and we were going to give them a little bit of a stretch in a bit. But for now, if you have one, grab your band. I'm going to fold mine in half. I need to rock out my yellow band or green band again. I've got this blue one, it's quite long. So I've definitely fold it in half, because initially we're just going to take the arms up and back as far as we can. So remember, when we do that, connect here between the ribs and pelvis, stay broad. Knees soft, breathe in. As you breathe out, take the arms all the way up and back as far as you can, and then return. Don't make it too difficult for yourself, okay, or too uncomfortable. And I would like a big gap between your shoulders and your ears. So although your arms are going up, it doesn't mean we need to lift the shoulders. Keep that gap and then drift the arms down. Keeping your weight spread evenly through the soles of your feet, arches in your feet, knees a little bit soft, and just being conscious of the stretch maybe across here as you take your arms up and back, as I said, as far as you can, whilst keeping neutral. Try not to push your ribs forwards. I'd like you to do 3 more, please. And then last 2. And 1 more. Brilliant. Okay, so as I said, we're going to stretch our calves and add that in. So you can add a little bit of balance if you wish, or quite simply step back. But you start with your feet about hip distance apart, clearly parallel, and either lift the knee first, and then take your foot back behind you, put the toes down, and then push the heel down and lift your arms. And then you can either bring that knee back up and balance, or just step back. And then step back, push the heel down, lift the arms. Come here or knee up. Same leg, steps back, toes down, heel down, lift. Or, as I said here, so I think I've done 3, I'm going to call it 3, and this one number 4. It might be 5, but who cares, we might do extra. Put the toes down, heel down, stretch. Now as you lift your arms, please remember to keep your tail tucked under, so we think about that lengthening through the front of the hip here. And yes, we lift the arms, so we're really careful we don't overextend the lumbar spine. We don't want to do that. Okay, what I'd like is that lift, arms up, tuck the tail under, little stretch. Now, mate, you probably counted because you know me. I talk and forget to count, and I'd like you to do 10. Broad across the shoulders. Remember, shoulders don't need to go up around your ears. Lift up, and then push the heel down. Fabulous. And then return once you complete your 10. So the idea being a little stretch in the calf, through the front of the hip, a little bit of extension, raising those arms. Clearly, we need to do the whole thing again on the other side. So, if balance is not your thing, then start here. If you can, raise the knee, step the foot back, put the toes down, follow down with the heel, lift the arms. Bring the hands down, lift the knee, or just step back into position. I think I left my balance on the slopes. As the hands come down and lift. That corset of support definitely needed both here for balance and then definitely here as you tuck your tail under to get that lengthening across the front of the hip and not overextend the lumbar spine. So we work on that connection, just gently, don't easy, don't make it all too stiff. Just think about that gentle movement to get that nice stretch. And as I say, aim for 10. And you might have hit 10. Hopefully not, because you'll be going at super speed. And lift. And back. Brilliant. Lifting up. Foot back, heel back, arms up. And another one. And when you've completed your 10, I'm going to call this number 10, then rest. Step yourself in. Oh. So a lovely little stretch to open through the front of the hips and also stretch the calf muscles. What I'd like you to do is notice how that felt for you and whether maybe a calf stretch is something that you need to continue to do. I'm going to unfold the band and just do a few of these. So where we take the arms all the way around and back. Just trying to get a little bit more stretch across the front of the shoulders, but trying not to do that, or one arm and put it band around your hair. That's not necessary. And if you struggle and your hands go up and back here and that's enough, then just stay there and then return. Feel the stretch. If you're happy to go all the way around, then please do, but don't whip your arms around, otherwise you are likely to tear something and it won't be very pleasant. So, be careful there, Chris, fabulous. I'd like 2 more. Come on, that's it. And over the top, nice and carefully, mum. 1 more. And then relax. Let your arms arms hang, let them relax. Good. So hopefully, feeling a little bit more mobile. I always finish exercises feeling a little bit more extended here in the spine, but we do want to remember those back muscles. So we are just going to work them a little bit. I know this is something that some of you don't love, but I do. So we're going to give it a go. I'm going to go wide with my feet. Now this is a tricky one, so adapt it if you wish to. Okay, because what we're going to do is as we squat down, we're going to take the arms up. As we come up, we're going to pull down and back. So the arms are going up and in front, pull down and back. Up and in front slightly. So it depends on where your feet are. So you might have narrow feet, in which case, as you squat down, your hands are going to need to go here. Pull. Now, the important thing about this is you're aware of your core and you don't extend the spine. So you stay strong here. Draw your elbows back, down, lengthen your neck. And even as you squat there, keep your neck lovely and long. Try to poke your chin forwards. Okay, I've been watching people in the gym recently do lots of this. None of that please, not here, not on my watch. As you draw down. So we're conscious of the challenge for sure, but also the activation of the mid-back muscles, neck, can't say it, neck, lovely and long. Let's do 4 more. I know it's hard. Push up, draw your elbows back and down. Fabulous. Couple more. Good. And last one. And rest. Oh la la, I know. Let's ditch that and be glad to know. Oh, right. I'd like to break it up. So we're going to squat down and roll back up. So when you're ready, sit down, relax, lift up, and then draw yourself back up. Let your arms hang, come back up. And then again, sit back, relax, lift your bottom, and draw yourself back up. Oh, perfect. Let's do 2 more of those. Welcome back, Christine. And draw yourself back up. 1 more, please. That's it, 1 more. Good. And then, standing nice and tall, knees a little soft. Breathe in. As you breathe out, float your hands up, lift up and back. Then take your hands out, lovely and wide. And then again, breathe in. As you breathe out, lift up and back. And go wide. I would like 1 more like that. And then, of course, a nice roll down. So we breathe in. As you breathe out, roll down. Let your arms hang. Take your time. All the way down to the bottom where you breathe in. Draw your tummy in and draw yourself back up. Ching, 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 ching. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Float your arms up and reach back. Hands out. Be lovely and tall. Breathe in. And then again, that belt of support around your waist. Knees a little soft, definitely. Be conscious that it's your core that's helping you to move. It's not actually, but anyway, we definitely need that corset of support. And you could just, as you do 1 more, you could even just let yourself hang and swing a bit, make your arms do a bit of a circle, take yourself all the way down, just adding a bit more movement to the spine. A wiggle as we go up and back and return. And hopefully you do feel a little bit more mobile. I would just like to do it, before we make our way down to the mat, I would just like to go wide with your feet. I'm at the back edge of my mat, step 1 foot forwards. So I've stepped my left foot forward, I'm going to put my left hand on my hip, right hand in the air. And we're just going to do a little bit of our stretchy one here. So we take the right hand up, or your hand up, so that knee at the front there is bent, Back heel in the floor, tuck your pelvis under a little bit, arm up, breathe in. As you breathe out, do a little dive, pulse, 2, 3 in front, and then up and back. And then again, pulse in front, and then reach up and back. And as you reach back, open across the shoulder here. That should be quite easy, having done all the stuff that we have already. So go down, 1, 2, 3, up and back. Brilliant. It does have that effect, doesn't it? Makes you, bliss as we lengthen across the front of the shoulder. Pulse here in front, and lift. Fabulous. Let's do that 3 more times. And up. And I don't know about you, but I can definitely feel that pulling right down here in the lower back. Not pulling, a nice pull, stretching. Maybe I should get aid to do this. And then up and back. And then rest. Oh, do you feel a bit wonky? I feel lovely and mobile on my right, so we better do it on the left side as well. So I've got right foot forward, right knee bent, left heel in the floor, and tuck your pelvis under. Hand and hand. So the same arm as your back leg. And then just extend here at the shoulder. Come over, 1, 2, 3, up and back. And then again, 1, 2, 3, up and back, lengthening across the front of the shoulder and the chest, reaching there, over the top. That lovely stretch across the shoulder, as I said, and then as you pulse down in front, you keep your tail tucked under. You are not hinging at the hips. Your tail is under, and we just tap here, and then up and back. Good. Let's do that 3 more times, just to really feel that lovely stretch. And again. And 1 more. Fabulous. Up and back. And rest. Ay, ay, ay. So hopefully feeling, I always feel a bit different, a bit, definitely more mobile, but a bit vulnerable. Right, we are going to make our way down eventually to our mat, but we're going to do a little bit of stretching and moving, and if we can, a little bit of plank stuff, just a little bit. So I'm going to the end of my mat here, we're going to roll down, and then eventually you can move your screens if you like. So breathe in. As you breathe out, roll down. Be careful having done what we have, but hopefully feeling a little bit more mobile. And then walk yourself forwards here. So you go forwards, place your hands shoulder width apart. Bring your head through and your shoulders back. Think about your shoulder stability. Definitely, you can put your knees down if you wish, but you don't have to. Okay, shoulders back, push up through the heels of your hands, draw your face away from your mat. So you're really aware of the stability here in your shoulders. Tuck your tail under and engage your core. And then from here, either, if you're on your knees, go back into a child's pose, enjoy the stretch, and then come forwards. If you're on your toes, go up into a down dog. And again, enjoy the stretch. And drift forwards. Draw your shoulders back and push up through the heels of your hands. I am properly on a nag about shoulder stability to help people understand what creates stability for the shoulders, because it's difficult. There are so many muscles around the shoulders, but if we're aware of how to be strong and stable, we will help our shoulders clearly, but help reduce neck pain for sure. So draw your shoulders back, lengthen your neck, either into that child pose position. A nice stretch for a huge back muscle called your lats, okay, or latissimus dorsi is actually what they're called. So if you're in a down dog position here, take your head between your arms, lift your bottom. You can even push your heels down towards the floor if you want to be a bit mean, but it's a lovely stretch. 1 more. And then come through into plank. And then walk yourself up. Definitely you can bend your knees, you can even put your knees down, but be strong in your wrists,
Let yourself hang at the bottom here. Breathe in. As you breathe out, draw yourself back up. Be tall, be broad. Float your arms up and around, if you've got room. I love that. So that movement there is actually flexion of the shoulder, which is really irritating because it sounds like it should be extension. But that will help us to function better at the shoulder and, as I said, reduce neck pain. So we're going to do that once more. If, by any stretch of the imagination, you'd like to add a press up in between each of those repetitions, be my guest. And we'll aim for 10. Breathe in. As you breathe out, roll down. As I said, it is your choice. You don't have to. Okay, we're going to walk forwards. Now, if you wanted to, you might choose to take your hands a little wider, which equally is quite a nice stretch. Shoulders back on your knees or your toes. You can bring your knees in. You can put your knees down to do your press-ups. As you sit back, stretch under the arms there, and then set that position if you wish to do a press-up. Or not. Okay, the choice is absolutely yours. I know not everybody has my love of press-ups. Unfortunately, not that we're a competitive household, but my husband has a love of press-ups too. So I'm still doing loads of press-ups every day, just to compete. No, I didn't say compete. I meant to keep up with him. Shoulders back, neck nice and long. Draw your tummy in, down, and up if you wish to. Lots of control, lots of strength, awareness of stability through the shoulders there. If you're doing the press up, it's basically send your elbows out and back rather than sink between your shoulder blades. And as I say, we're aiming for 10. We will then come back up if you wish to. If you wish to move your screen, actually it'd be quite nice to do another roll up and a back bend, wouldn't it? And then we'll take ourselves down onto the mat. I have no idea how many I've done here, but I quite enjoy this little combination of stretching here. I'm going to push my heels to the floor, come forwards, be strong and long. I'm going to do one more just to make sure I've done enough. Maybe you've finished. And then I'm going to walk back, plant my feet, roll up. Be tall and broad. Float the arms up and reach back and go wide. Well done. I hope that you feel mobile. Yes, worked a little bit, but definitely have moved. We are going to make our way down to the mat. So if you need to move your screens, then do. If you're happy down there, then stay down there. And we are briefly going to lie on our front. I've got my block here to put my forehead on, or a cushion. It's entirely up to you, and I'm going to take a moment just to roll down again, just because we can. Ching, 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 and then lie down. Now lying on the front, on your front, some people don't mind, some people don't like at all. So sorry about that, Mum. But we are just going to make ourselves aware of the long back muscles whose job it is to hold you upright all day long. Okay, so as you lie here with your forehead on the block or a cushion, think about the length in your neck. We want to try not to hinge at the base of the cervical spine, which is the neck, and we all do, we hinge at that 7th vertebra, and it's not pleasant for that. We create wear and tear there. So the block is there to keep length. Relax your arms by your side. I like to put my palms up, so relax your shoulders. They roll forwards, which is not the posture that we want when we stand up, but we relax the shoulders and then just take your hands as far down as you can. So your shoulders aren't up by your cheeks. Okay, they're down here. Your legs are hip distance apart, not that you can necessarily tell that, but relaxed. Your heels might fall out a bit to the side, that's fine. Toes in a bit. And just feel as though you're drawing your tummy in, and that action tucks your tail under a bit. And all I want you to do here is breathe And as you breathe out, just be conscious of engaging the core. So don't move, just think about that deepest abdominal muscle. I sometimes need to move my ribs when I do that, just to be aware of my alignment and be aware of how to create that belt of support. And then with your arms still resting, legs and bottom as relaxed as you can, breathe in. As you breathe out, just lift your face away from the mat. Breathe in as you lower. And then again, breathe out. Breathe in as you lower. So your back is lovely and long. You are just lifting your face away from the mat. Your chin comes in and your eyes still stay at the same spot on the mat. And we just lift, and you're aware of the long back muscles working. As you lift yourself away from the mat, you can feel deep back muscles. I say deep and mid-layer muscles, and not forgetting that corset of support does go all the way around. Every time you go down, relax and notice where you relax. I am aware that my inner thigh muscles kick in a little bit. They attach to the same point as that deep abdominal to your pubic bone, so they will sort of kick in. Not forgetting pelvic floor too. And we're going to do just one more. So it is difficult, I'm not going to lie, but it's awareness, and I really hope that all of you have good body awareness. So the aim isn't to come up as high as you can and clench your bottom and tighten thighs. It's just to lift a little bit and use those erector spinae muscles, we call them, they're a group of muscles. So with that in mind, we're going to do maybe a couple more like that, and then add in the dart arms and notice the difference. So eyes stay down, tuck the tail under, draw the tummy in, breathe in. As you breathe out, lift yourself up a bit, and then down, and then maybe again, and then add that rotation of the arms, draw the shoulder blades towards one another down the back, reach towards your feet. And then roll forward. Drawing your face away from the mat, lengthening your spine, reaching towards your feet. Now as you add the arms in, be conscious of lengthening across the collarbones, your arms rotate, palms face the floor, and you work on drawing your shoulder blades just in a bit, but down the back. I'd like 4 more, please. If it's too much, rest. If your lower back is gripping, rest. And then once you've completed the 4, rest. And allow yourself a little relax. Now, the question I have for you is whether you would like to do some spine flexion or extension. If you'd rather be on all fours and do the cat-cow exercise, then please do that. I know that suits some of you a lot better than just doing this one. I, however, really like this one. My face, hands in line with my face, shoulders away from the ears. This is about extension of the spine with regards to movement. So breathe in. As you breathe out, look forwards, draw your shoulders back, chest forwards, ribs forwards, and maybe just push up a bit. And then gently come down. Wow. And if you're like me and haven't done this for a few weeks, notice how you feel, whether you feel a bit stiff. Okay, whether gradually we can just gain a little bit more movement. As I said, by all means, if you'd rather be on all fours, and do this one with this one, then you can. It might suit you better. I know it definitely suits Julie better, and maybe Mum, it might suit you a little bit better too. Or stick with this. Oh, love it. As your chest goes forwards, your collarbones lovely and long, pushing the chest and ribs forwards. Lengthening the spine whilst extending it a little bit. Just 3 more, please. And gently down. Good. Nice. It's really nice. I can see a few of you with shadows. You look like silhouettes, so it's great. I can really see the movement of your spine, which is a win-win. And then relax. You can either rest there on your front or sit back on your heels. I don't mind where, okay, I really don't. You can literally lie on your tummy. If you're happy to sit back here and your knees like it, then do. But what I'd just like you to do for a moment is take some deep breaths. But try and take that breath into the back of your rib cage. Really try and lift and expand your back as you breathe in. And then breathe out. And I don't know about you, but I find it much easier when I'm breathing into my back to take that breath down into my lower back. That's not where your lungs are, but you're drawing your diaphragm down, expanding the lower back, expanding the rib cage to get that breath in as much as you can. So let's just do 2 more of those. And then rest. And then I would like you to carefully roll yourself over and have a lie down on your back. Now, as you lie down, you may feel that when you lengthen your neck, you're looking behind you a bit. So you might need something underneath your head, particularly if, I'm sure it applies to many of you, but particularly if we've been a bit slouched. When we go back like that, our spine might not thank us for being lovely and long. Hopefully it does. But if you need a small cushion or something underneath your head, that's fine. But as long as it is to enable you to lengthen the back of the neck, tuck your chin down a little bit, be comfortable on the shoulder blades and the upper back and the rib cage, feet on the floor so your knees are bent, hip distance apart. I'll take my arms out a little bit. And what I'd like you to do is a few pelvic tilts, just rock. Don't worry too much about how or why or what you're doing. Just rock through the lower back. And as you do this, notice how your lower back feels when you push it into the mat. Do you feel a bit more muscular on one side of your lower back than you do the other? Unusually, I feel yes on my right, whereas usually it's on my left. It's a bit odd, but never mind. But it is always about noticing. So I'm just going to do 2 more of these. And then let yourself relax into that neutral position. So in other words, just relax, and hopefully you fall into that where you've got a little arc there in your lower back, and you're resting on the base of the spine and the back of the pelvis. And whilst you rest here, just breathe. As you breathe out, relax onto your mat. Feel all the parts of your back that are resting on the mat. Feel heavy on those parts. But then also start to become aware of engaging your core. And as you breathe out, you engage that deep abdominal and aren't quite so heavy on all those parts of your back, particularly the soles of your feet. Okay, that's not your back, but just engaging the core, you can feel your feet resting, but very lightly. Now, if you wish to, you could just float your knees up so they're above your hips. You don't have to. You could keep your feet on the floor. Because I'd just like you to lengthen away one leg as you breathe out, and then return. And then the other leg. So really just being conscious of that belt of support around your waist. And maybe you've had a little bit of a break from Pilates, maybe not. But you're thinking, oh yeah, I can feel this. It's quite hard work as we create that stretch, or it's not a stretch, it's lengthening of the hip flexors whilst they still work to hold your leg, because they're still working, otherwise your leg will be resting on the floor. And then we've also got to connect here the ribs and the pelvis. So plenty of drawing in your middle, that waist, that belt of support. Sorry. Good. So we take that leg lovely and long and low, tap the heel, draw yourself back. And again. Fabulous. I'd like you to do 4 more, whichever leaves you feeling even, please. And then take a moment to rest. If you need to hug your knees, then do. But as you rest, always notice where you relax. And hopefully it wasn't in your face or your shoulders, it was literally around your waist. Before we progress that, I'd like you to take your arms out nice and wide, palms up. Continue to think about lengthening across the collarbones and either glue your knees and feet together or take them wide. I'm going to take mine wide initially. I've got my feet at the edge of my mat. Breathe in. As you breathe out, send your knees to one side and then draw yourself back and go to the other side. I did this one the other day and noticed how much of a stretch here I got down my left side, which I didn't have before my little Pilates break, and wondering why. On the right side, totally fine. On the left, can really feel it. So again, as I always say, it really is about you noticing what is going on in your body. Is it feeling a little tighter in areas? A little bit more mobile would be good in areas, whilst having awareness of your strength and stability. As we roll over and then draw back. I'm going to do 2 more and then change this. And for me, I'm going to put my knees and feet together and lift them, which you could do. And it's quite good to change the hip roll that you're doing to, again, just see what the effect it has on your body and just change the rotation of the spine a little bit. With your knees up, clearly it's a little bit more demanding on your flexibility and your strength, depending on how far you take your knees, to be fair. Now, usually I'm quite a stickler for making sure when your knees are up, they go directly to the side, because then we are really, really focusing on rotation of the spine without flexion or extension. However, if you wanted to bring your knees in a bit and roll over, then you do get quite a little bit of rounding and rotation on that lower back. If I go the other side, you might see, which might feel quite nice for your back. Okay, that little bit of flexion here and rounding stretches out through that lower back. Not too much flexion. Obviously, it makes it easier muscularly. And maybe do a few like that, and then a few with your knees above your hips. But for some people, that might really be quite nice. It might be nice for you, Julie, with that nice little bit of flexion and rotation. But please keep your shoulder blade pinned to the floor. Might be nice for you too, Andy. Let's do 2 more. And then 1 more. And then have a little stretch. Now, if you wish to, grab your band, but you don't have to. We're just going to add arms to the legs that we did earlier. So I've got my band here, holding either end, so my hands are nice and wide, but again, you don't have to. You could even make it big arm circles if you like. Back to that neutral position. We're going to do a couple of sets here. So you might initially want to push it and go a little bit tougher first, and then go easier, or the other way around. But I'm going to raise my knees above my hips, engage the core, breathe in. As you breathe out, lengthen both arms and maybe a leg, and return. By all means, if you wish to progress this by scissoring your legs, by maybe taking both feet down, then you can. You could even add the curl up. Okay, but let's try and do 10 or 12, 15, however quickly you work and however many you can do whilst maintaining good form, please. Please, please, please. If there's anything you need to remember in your head for 2023, it is to work with precision of movement when you're doing your Pilates. Don't just do one more rep badly, just to do one more repetition, because that's just not worth it. And then, of course, once you have completed your 10 or 12, take a moment to rest. Maybe just rock on your lower back a little bit. And we're just going to do one more set. However you like. You could just ditch the band, do big arm circles and go really easy. Absolutely, that might be the thing you want to do right now. So, the choice is yours. You can put your feet back on the floor, find that neutral position, ditch the band, keep the band, breathe in and breathe out. Lengthen away, return, maybe no legs. Tuck the chin down, please. Remember your spine, the alignment of your spine. That nice lengthening of the spine if you're curling up but not tucking your chin to your chest. That flexion, or maybe just focusing on those corset muscles around your waist. Nice and relaxed in the arms. 10 or 12, and once you have completed those, take a moment to rest. Have a little stretch if you need. Brilliant. I do hope you've got to the end of this year feeling different to how you did last year in a much more positive way. Feeling, as I say, stronger, but hopefully more flexible and mobile, definitely aware of your posture. And once you have completed those, as I said, have a rest. Just take a moment. So I'm just rocking on my lower back here. You could do the same. And then all I want you to do is just lie down for a minute, just a moment. As you lie down, notice how your body feels. Now, if you struggle to lie with your legs long, then we need to do something to help that, and you need to let me know, because you don't want to feel as though you're being pulled, your pelvis pulled that way, creating a bigger arc in your back. We actually want to be able to lie quite comfortably here. That is all to do with flexibility. If you do feel like that for today, take your feet wide, knees together, so that you can relax through the lower back there, and all of your muscles can relax. Even the muscles around your hips are not having to work to hold your knees up. Let your arms rest out to the side and just take a moment to relax and use your breathing to help that. So what I'd like you to do is take a nice breath in through your nose if you can, and then carefully and slowly breathe out. And as we've been doing a lot recently, breathe out fully. Get rid of all of that stale air and oxygen and carbon dioxide in the bottom of your lungs. Get rid of it to then take in another fresh batch. And as you do this, I would just like you to notice how your body feels. And I quite like at the end of my breath, when you've breathed out fully, emptying the lungs, to just pause for a moment and let your body rest heavily onto your mat. Even try and be a bit heavier. Let your cheeks relax, let your arms rest.
heavily into the floor. You notice your fingers curl. And I'd like you to just do a few more breaths, however you like, with moments of pause, make them deep breaths, or even just breathe normally, but encourage your body to relax. And then rather carefully, just start to take slightly deeper breaths, but notice they are breaths full of energy. And as you breathe in, you feel your chest lift. You feel that oxygen going to the muscles, through the bloodstream to the arms, to the legs, to the hands and feet. And just start to wiggle your hands and feet. And just allow yourself to move. And take your time in waking and coming into a seated position. Don't rush. Just as I said, take your time. And when you come up, just notice, so I felt the need to stretch my hips a little bit, so I just cross my legs and length forwards. Move your neck maybe. Or maybe we need to do a session on the neck. But more importantly, I hope that you do feel a bit more mobile. It's really weird when you do that little bit of lying down and relaxing at the end of a session. We maybe forget how we felt when we did all those big stretches and moved big. So when you get up, hopefully you're aware of how much more mobile you feel. First of all, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me for all of these sessions in 2022. And I do hope that you want to continue with your Pilates. And I really would like some feedback and some requests would be great. You can send it so everyone can see or directly to me. It really does help me because then I can focus, and I love a little bit of focus and a little bit of research on how to help people. Otherwise what I do is I pick things that I want to do. So for the moment, for various reasons, there's a lot about spines going on in my head. So if that suits you, then win-win. But if you would like something else, then please say. But I would like to hope that you feel better, you're much more aware, stronger, more mobile, etc. And I'd like to wish you a happy new year, and please give yourself a big pat on the back for this morning. And once again, thank you very much.